Hello and welcome to our Angels of Love podcast. Bueno, our YouTube channel. Today is our first recording of our Acasma Angels of Love podcast. It's myself, Lauren Messmer, and my beautiful sacred sister, Kris from Sacred Soul. Thank you for joining us. How are you feeling, Kris?
Good. It's been a good
Yeah.
week. How about you?
I'm feeling good. It's interesting because the energies have been really today, as I'm recording, is November 2nd, and I'm in Mexico, which is where they celebrate the Day of the Dead.
Yes.
And I've been just feeling it's interesting how everybody, because everyone in the country right now is focusing on their ancestors and all of that. The whole idea is that they say during this time a bridge or a portal is opened for the souls of the ancestors to come down. And the truth is you can feel it in the air. It's like beautiful and intense.
Yeah.
And so I say that I've been kind of sitting in that energy for this last week and just like feeling really more and more connected to bueno, not more connected, but just like connecting in with the ancestor energy and, all of the things that you don't really see, can't really see. And yeah, and so I think also it's in alignment with what we're doing with Acasma and how like we're working with the unseen, but also how you and I were just talking right now about how we're feeling our own ascensions and how what does that feel and what does that mean and what does that look like. So all of that married together is very cool. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
I'm feeling a little like I have to take a lot of deep breaths.
Yeah. I
And
imagine it's really deep in the tradition there. So that's beautiful. I think because it can be very commercialized in other places.
yeah, well, yeah, because we're both from the United States. We'll just call the United States out for their commercial.
Just call it out, but I'm just saying. Right. And I don't know that a lot really understand and appreciate the real value of that culture.
Yeah. It's also got me thinking a lot about the ascension of the planet in general, because as this, like I said, the whole country is focused on this opening of this portal, and it's just on these days that they're doing it. But what if we did it every day? Or what if there were more than one day a year that literally a whole country, a whole continent, the whole world focused on this? And what would that be like? And, especially as we sit in the energies of a lot of the heaviness that's happening around the planet, and just seeing how they're perpetuating more dark with more dark and more dark. Well, this idea of like opening the portal and bringing it down into this now timeline and allowing for the energies of the beyond with now, and really it's all rooted in love. I mean, if you're honoring your ancestors, maybe, yeah, you're a little mad at them for certain things, but for the most part, it's the day that you're honoring their love. So we're ushering in more love, and I really think that's what we're doing with Acasma.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
maybe
How beautiful. I would love that. Maybe we should get that going. A day of the country just really bringing open that portal.
it
Oof,
would be amazing.
would that be?
I know I'll live to see a day where we all get to be.
Yes.
Let's say that, okay?
Yes. Absolutely. This is it.
We,
We're setting the date. No.
I mean, I think it should. I mean, actually, well, duh. This is actually what the Cosmic Grid of Light is, too,
It's
to be
exactly.
honest. So actually, there is a day. So the
There is.
Cosmic Grid of Light with the originator of Acasma and A.L. Garris is the last Saturday of every month. And it's at, is it 10 p.m., 10
It's
a.m. Eastern
9.
time. Yeah.
Usually it's 9 a.m.
Oh, 9 a.m. Eastern time.
Maybe it's 10, but yeah, somewhere in that hour.
Yeah, well, you can join our mailing list by contacting us below or going to either of our websites, which we'll put in the link below. And we'd love to have you. And that's also kind of that is what the Angels of Love Pod is. We are a supporting leg of the Acasma Grid of Light, which is a bunch of people getting together at this one time and anchoring in the light in the positions that they are. So it is exactly what we're talking about,
That
actually,
is true.
which
That
is
is true.
funny.
I guess A.L. Garris has already started that for us.
So we gotta basically, thanks for watching this, because that's also part of what we're doing is like promoting that. So and this came out so naturally. I'm like,
Right?
wow, look at us marketing so naturally.
Right? That's so
Uh,
funny. It's so funny. It's like, oh, it's steamrolled. Oh, hey, it's happening. Whoops.
hey, here we are. Well, also, okay, so we've mentioned Acasma at least 10 times so far, and I think this is probably a good time to actually answer the question that I get, and I'm sure you get too so much, which is, what is Acasma? Do you? So I'm going to put you on the spot, and you go.
Oh my gosh,
You
I get
say
to
what
go.
you think Acasma. What do you think it is, or how do you explain it?
How do I explain a Cosma? Oh my gosh. Um, so I explain it as a higher dimensional modality that is a lifestyle. How's that in one sentence? That's what I say.
That
So
was good.
it's very interesting because I think that as we evolved into Deas, and I'm going to say that because we have one class left, technically.
Which is the top level of Acasma for those of you who don't
That
know.
is it, right? So there's a Cosma Quantum Facilitators level 1, 2, and 3. And then there's Master Teacher 1, 2, and 3. And then there's Grand Master Teacher Dea. And that's, you can do it all, I guess, you know. But, I think you and I and some of our other galactic goddess sisters have talked quite a bit about how the evolution we've come in this time in our journey of Acasma. And it's not really just taking classes, it is absolutely an ascension and a modality. And I remember in the beginning, we were like, what is this? What is this? Which I understand a lot of people do because it is newer. And then it was like, oh, is it like healing touch? Is it like Reiki? Oh, that's how we would explain it. It's like that, but it's different. And it's quantum. And quantum, what do you mean quantum? We hear about quantum sound. And as we evolved, I remember, I don't know how long ago, but I said to you, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a lifestyle. And you were like, it is, huh? And I'm like, this isn't just about going in, learning something, putting hands on, and you're done, or getting it and you're done. This is literally about reprogramming, seeing the light within, understanding that we are our self healers, and how to really connect on a whole different level and receive messages and our gifts, and opening up our gifts as facilitators and teachers, and those that may come to us for sessions. It's more about holding the space and the love and the light for them so that they can see their inner light and ascension and their quantum and what their past timelines are, their now timelines, and their future timelines, and how it's all up in your quantum, and everybody's quantum is their quantum.
See, this is when I hear myself saying stuff like that, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm crazy. Because we're growing up, like, it's really only in the last 10 years that all of this woo-wee has really truly been accepted, right? We have Gwyneth Paltrow with her goop and all her things that she's done, and all the different people that are really bringing this. You got your even your crystal, you have your crystals, your face rollers, but also even crystal dildos, and like,
Yeah.
I mean, like, it is literally everywhere in our lives. So all of that stuff that you're saying is like, basically, I think even you can take all of that and, like, you distilled it into, what did you say, the sentence you said it is an ascension modality that's a lifestyle?
That's a lifestyle.
Yeah. And by lifestyle, again, I agree with you. That's how I would explain it too. And the lifestyle is because it does become so much a part of you. Like you, it
Mhm.
is what we've all started asking ourselves as the Deas, which is we can now teach teach facilitators, teach teachers, and teach teachers of teachers. So we're like, that's what that, but we've also then kind of integrated it all within ourselves. And that's how it becomes a lifestyle, because now when people say mean things to us, I mean, obviously sometimes not always, but we can stop, pause, and just bless them for whatever they're going through, and just different things like that that we've picked up as practices, right? I think that's how it becomes a lifestyle.
Again,
And
it's like going back to that, looking at our belief system and our programming and letting go of some things that no longer serve you. Like I just, we're going to be on, like I just went through something really huge, right? Like it's tattooed on me. And I really had to look at a word I truly believed in. It brings you to these places to really evaluate where you're at and see it from a loving space, and to really come to it from a space of love and acceptance of everybody and where they're at.
yeah, that part, the sovereignty part is
Um,
also something that's been so beautiful for the Acasma. So that's great. So now my question then is, all that's cool, but how does that happen? How do we get fixed? And like, because honestly, it's like doing well. I'll answer my own question.
yeah, how about you? How about you get this one? Let's feel
No,
good.
because the how is like, I mean, what I love, and you kind of alluded to this, is that it's our, as the facilitator, when we work with a client, and we can work with them in person or we can work with them distance. So, you can be on the other side of the world and we can give you a healing, and it works. It's crazy. But part of it is that in this quantum, which is this space, is the unseen, and where time and space kind of overlap with each other, that our higher selves are working with the client's higher self. And we are not actually doing anything to the client. The client, we are putting the energy in front of them, and they themselves, consciously and unconsciously, are then accepting that energy. And that energy, this quantum energy, is kind of like, I don't know, it's like I don't know what kind of thing like scoots around on the ground and looks for things. It's almost like a metal detector or something, where you're like, and then this energy like finds something, and we don't even know what it's doing. It just like 3 days later or the next day, you did one session on me that healed something that had been so deep inside of me for like 17 years, and you were able to move this energy. I mean, I don't think you knew specifically what energy you were moving, but afterwards, this thing that I was working with, like, it was so much less charged. And, and yeah, that's the thing about quantum and about Acasma, is it's magic. It is kind of like a magic eraser. Sometimes it works right away. I also believe that part of the reason why we have healed and ascended so much is through this process of going through all the levels of becoming a facilitator to a Grand Dea. We've also received attunements weekly, because that's what you get, the classes and the attunement. So 2 times in 1 week, you're working directly with this energy with your instructor. And that means that the consistency of having those sessions also were building upon each other. And I've done a lot of work before Cosmo. So it's not like I've worked with medicines, I've worked with shamans, I've worked with, I've done massages, self-help books, blah, blah, blah. And so I felt like I was pretty like it's not like this was my first like, no. And I literally did feel the difference of this energy. And it's freaking amazing.
I mean, it's like crazy, isn't it? I think we all kind of sit here and go, damn. We still kind of go,
Whoa.
whoa, whoa. Like, I don't know, like I think you touched on it really good when you said like, so like when we do a session, right? Like I just like that one specifically for you, right? It was kind of like I just felt this or that, and you were like, you have no idea what that moved. You know what I mean? And when a person subscribes to it, meaning that they're like, hey, I want to have sit in this session with you, as if they go, I want to go get a massage, or I want to, go get whatever. Um, they're accepting the energy. And so we just hold that energy for them. We hold that love and that space for them so that it can move for them.
Mhm.
And they then, like you said, accept it. And I want to also say that one thing that's really beautiful about a Cosma quantum energy, because we're in the quantum with them. So
Mhm.
we don't have to be in the same room with them, but we
Mhm.
can be for some other experiences, but we're in the quantum with them. Is that we can also heal and work on sending light and holding the space and love for timelines
Mhm.
and otherworldly or other situations in general, you know what I mean? Or for a group of people. It
And
is just, yeah, it's bigger than that. So we can do soul healing in other ways in a bigger way too.
it's interesting because when we say that, like some people would be like, oh, you can't go back and erase the Holocaust, or you can't. And it's not saying that. And it's such this subtle thing that's interesting because also within a Cosmo, we're working with the time space continuum of, the past, present, and future are kind of happening all at the same time. Or you can also look at it like you can travel to the past from here and heal what's in the past. And it doesn't mean that that thing didn't happen or that whatever, but it's something about the energy that heals so that when it gets brought back up into the now timeline, it's less charged and it has I don't want to say like almost a more easeful
Mhm.
energy to be able to then move through, because also we have to think about if there's anger and pain and horror and all this stuff, which is totally would be totally the logical and acceptable way to respond to a horrible thing like that. But if that energy stuck inside our bodies or in our world actually really hurt us, because as if you read like Louise Hay's
Mhm.
books and many other people who talk about how like disease is actually a lot of times from things, from traumas, from emotions, from different things. So it's almost like we're going back into this timeline, going backwards or to the event or, whatever,
Yeah.
wherever you're traveling, you're taking the charge off of it and allowing those energies to move again. Like you kind of said that like it's stuck, but like able to move it through too. So it's really cool too, because we talk about that all the time too, about how our perception of time has changed so much since we started doing this work too.
Well, yeah, I so sometimes I just want to say this. Sometimes I think in healing, our our traumas per se or whatever, and we have a lot of talk about ancestral healing and stuff too. And I think that's what you said. Like you kind of go back and you bring it through in different ways, and sometimes you don't even realize it. And somebody once said something like, "We don't even know we have a trauma sometimes until we have a reaction," and we were like,
Yeah,
oh,
totally.
wait a
That's
minute,
happened to me.
what was that?" And you're like, "Oh, I'm just so like, oh, upset about this." And it's like, why? But I think this is something that like a cosmic, it just, it's not like it has to be all like, oh, I'm having a problem with this. Sometimes it's just so, um, it's, how do I want to say it? It's like, it's just giving you, like you said, a gentle entry point to just soften that and kind of understand it in a whole circle. It's one thing about a cosmic, it is so incredibly gentle and
Yeah.
beautiful. It, like we talk about how being a Dea is like we have ascended on so many levels and just in these last 10 weeks, and we're like, but it's so beautiful. It's not like
Yeah. Oh, well, that's such a good thing to say too, because that's another part is that we in a Cosmo believe that it doesn't have to hurt to heal. And
no.
in fact, you can just intend to heal. And
Yeah.
that's that too. Like the quick release of the charge. I just keep saying that it's the quick release of the charge of everything and that it can be beautiful. And not to say, because I mean, let's be real, you and I have both also suffered during this course as we've healed. It hasn't been like all roses and beautiful, but even in those sufferings, it's a different kind of suffering because, well, another thing I really enjoy about a Cosma is that, for instance, I think you are too attuned to Reiki,
Yeah.
but Reiki, I just took the course and 2 days later, and then I was out there and I could do what I wanted. I mean, my teacher she was awesome and is one of my friends, so we were connected. But with the Cosma, it's like talking into that lifestyle also is that we have a group of people.
Yeah.
And in our particular group that we started was all women, but there are men involved in Acasma as well, and more than welcome. We love, everyone's welcome. But it's a group of people really holding and supporting each other. And I hope that carries out into the future, obviously, as we grow more and more, because what you and I are like in the top 15 days so far, so that we're really at the precipice of it all.
We're counting 10 and 11 here, okay?
I know, but I just wanted to keep it easy.
We're putting numbers on it. No.
We're really early on in this situation. People will be watching this video in the year 2028 and looking at us and be like, wow, these were the first, Time. I know because I can go between the time-space continuums. I've seen that before. No, just kidding. So yeah, so it's really cool to see how this will grow.
Yeah. I want to also share that one thing that's super big in Acasma is dropping the fear.
Mm-hmm.
So when you drop the fear, you can do the healing very sweetly, I'm going to call it, in a way. Like you said, there are times where you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm working through something, and this isn't sometimes fun and sometimes, but it's not that deep, dark,
shadow. Yeah.
Painful. I gotta cry and be terrible for a month. I'm not saying that you don't have moments where you feel we call it wobbles, where you wobble and you're feeling like, well, it's a little hard time for me right now. You just kind of recognize it a little bit more, and you kind of are more in touch with what it's happening, and you drop the fear behind it. And dropping the fear behind it really catapults you. That's really what this is about. Dropping all the fear, because you'd be surprised. Most of our stuff is hung on by fear. So I think that's what's really beautiful about this, that it can, and it goes quick. Like you go through healing, it doesn't take months. It doesn't take years. Like it can take days.
It can take hours, actually.
Hours. Sometimes you're like, oh, okay. And then you release it, and it's so incredibly beautiful. Like it really is. It's so hard. I know I say that all the time, and some people laugh at me and are like, okay, but it's like nothing I've ever experienced.
But it's not even just you and I saying that. Like my clients that come and are having their first session ever, that they feel it. And even people who aren't spiritually inclined in any one way, like, they're like, wow, I really felt that. And so that's when, and the first time I did it was, I received it. I remember also feeling like, whoa, I could like almost see the purple and the pink and like feel the change in the energies. And yeah, it was really great. Yeah. So I think that's a good teaser. I think we've kind of teased the public. Hopefully both Kris and I are totally here to answer any questions. Both of us love talking about Acasma so much.
We do.
We love our Acasma lifestyle. We love our Acasma sessions. I think everything, and it's just continuing to unfold and be beautiful. So feel free to reach out to us. Like I said, both of our websites and social handles will be below. Subscribe to this channel. Hit the bell if you want to be notified if for our next videos. Will be on this channel. We release our Pod of Light. We also release our own individual projects, and then we also do chats like this as often as we can. So we would love to have you as part of our community. And yeah, that's what I have to say. Blessings upon blessings. And Kris, I'll let you take us out. And
oh,
yeah,
we do have the Pot of Light. Our Angels of Love here is once a month for free. So please subscribe to that. Get to know us a little bit. Then
subscribe to us by. How are they going to subscribe to us? By contacting us in our socials? Okay.
I don't have. I'm not like that. I'm not really.
Some people have short-term memories, so that's why on social media they repeat everything all the time.
All the time. Yes. But I just wanted to say that, that's a good way to kind of see a session with us once a month for free. And then from there, visit our websites that are linked below and, get to know us a little bit more on what our little specialties are, because we do some Acasma specialties and have special things for that. But on that note, yeah, like I'm so honored to be here with you, Lauren. Always, always,
All right.
always my sister. And all of you,
Thank
we hope to
you.
see you, more of you, please. We hope to see more of you. Thank you for joining
Thank
us.
you. All right. Blessings upon blessings, dear ones.